internet's strangest digital crimes. We haven't watched a Fox Akimbo video in a minute, so let's see what's up with it, man.
Virtual muggings, kidnappings, sweatshops, and even assaults are going on beneath our noses.
The internet's strangest digital crimes. Assault. Oh, we saw this story last time. I was S8'd in virtual reality. Trust me when I say it's very real. Yo, every time I see this story, like, I gotta pull up the Tyler, the Creator tweet. Ha ha ha, how the f is cyberbullying real? Ha ha, just walk away from the screen, like, close your eyes. Ha ha. Oh, and this holds up to this day, bro. This holds up to this day. Like, this is top 5 tweets of all time.
And many people have absolutely no idea. Since the break of the 21st century, the virtual world has become an increasingly important aspect of all of our lives. Many people often prefer cyberspace to real life and spend the majority of their waking hours on this earth immersed in a false reality. These people are so invested in their digital personas that one could even make the argument that to many of them, their online lives are an extension of themselves, and therefore—
Damn, Chad, is that true for y'all?
Or an attack—
Well, I mean, it's literally true for me because I do content online, so like, I can't even say anything.
On their virtual identity would be an attack on them as a person. In this video, I want to discuss the criminal underbelly of the virtual world, which has culminated in a groundbreaking event this past week. So we'll start off with the lesser crimes, and as the video progresses, we'll ramp up in terms of severity of these criminal rackets taking place.
Let's go.
So kicking things off, have you ever heard about someone who's been cybermugged?
Get cybermugged. Cybermugged? Give me the money. Close the screen. Problem solved. Problem solved. The only thing I can think of is if they're talking about ransom, but that's called ransomware.
The year was 2005. The game,
put your controllers in the
Lineage 2. If you've never heard of the Lineage series before, it's a medieval fantasy MMORPG.
Is getting cyber robbed in a medieval RPG game. Yeah. This is the most pussy of pussy individuals.
Franchise developed by NC Soft, a South Korean studio. The first game came out in 1998, with the sequel releasing in 2003.
Put the VR money
Throughout
in the VR
years,
bag.
there have been several other highly successful games in the series, leading the Lineage franchise to become one of the highest earning video game properties of all time, worth billions. The main reason why it made so much money though were the microtransactions. Most agreed that the only way to play competitively was to spend your own money on the game's currency. A lot of people would argue that Lineage is a pay-to-win, and this is something that has been present in a lot of Lineage games. One time, in fact, back in 2021, it actually resulted in a user spending a whopping $3.5 million on the game over the span of 2 years. Oh
my god. How do you even, okay, there's only one answer. This has to be a kid that's like inherited all of his father's or mother's wealth or something like that. It has to be. 3.5 mil? That's the most anybody's ever spent on a game. It has to be, right?
According to this source, his spending equated for 1/900th of the money spent on the game. Things then blew up out of proportions. There was a patch that was reversed after people spent millions, and this guy, known as Mr. A, tried to contact customer support, but he couldn't reach them, so then he went to the studio in person, blocked the parking lot, and actually got sued by NC Soft. He paid so much money to that company that he essentially paid off their legal team. This was a big news story in Korea at the time, but I think that it accurately demonstrates
more than one house.
That some people playing this game are very dedicated,
8 suburban houses.
And that's why it might upset them to find out that their character has been cybermugged for their goodies. Years before this lawsuit came perhaps an even more absurd news story involving the game. It was 2005, and some unlucky Lineage players were unaware of the misfortune they were about to encounter. The BBC reported that police over in Japan had arrested a Chinese student
held over online mucking.
over using a bot that would mug players of their items. The article reads, "Players were attacked in the game Lineage 2, and their items were then sold for cash on auction sites. The attacks were carried out using automated bots, which are difficult for
So what would it be, like a player would run up like a bot, like an insanely high level bot, and just take your shit?
Game players
Sub up.
The student, who was abroad on an exchange program, was arrested in the Kanagawa prefecture of southern Japan. In Japan, as in England, there are no specific laws to govern trade in virtual possessions. Use of bots is a frequent problem in online gaming, and most game publishers have invested heavily in trying to eliminate them from their games. Bots appear in games in the same way that human players do, so there's no easy way to tell which players of a game are not real." Unfortunately though, no news sources provided much more information other than that. To this very day, we don't know the identity of this mysterious Chinese thief, nor do we know the names of his victims.
Ran out with a bag. I respect it.
Just how much he had stole, how long he had been heading this racket for. We don't even know the punishment for the crime. This was 2005, and as the article says, there were no laws at the time, and so it's very possible that this Chinese cheat faced no repercussions. Strangely enough, we're sticking in both 2005 and China to discuss the next crime in this video. That's because on the 9th of December that year, New York Times journalist David Barboza blew the whistle on the exploitative world of World of Warcraft online sweatshops.
A sweatshop? Wouldn't it be easier to like make bots to make this shit for you? So you got people genuinely sitting there and... I'm not even gonna ask. Has anybody here ever played World of Warcraft, by the way? I feel like this is more like an older person type game. Like, this is like a millennial type game. It's not really younger generations. Nope.
While upon first glance, it might seem strange to make the claim that World of Warcraft had some sort of foreign sweatshop racket happening on it back in the mid-2000s, if we take a look at Barboza's article, the layers of this secret start to slowly peel away.
Okay.
And as we delve further into this rabbit hole, a clearer picture of how this came to be is gradually drawn. A 23-year-old Chinese gamer who went by the codename Wandering explained for how 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, himself and his colleagues would be out on World of Warcraft killing monsters.
I mean, is that a sweatshop? People be doing that. It's just farming. People be doing that. That's a lot of time, though. That is a lot of time, but trust me, people be doing that.
And in return, generating roughly $250 a month.
Okay. 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week for $250. I would justify it if you were getting at least like a solid salary. Yeah, that's actually a sweatshop.
According to Wandering, it was pretty good compared to most of the other jobs that he had prior to it. He seemed content.
Bro, where are you working at? Did they say this is in China? Oh my god.
He could just play video games
struggling
all day.
over there. They just struggling.
One might make the comparison between Wandering's job and that episode of South Park where they just sat in Cartman's basement for 3 months killing pigs all day, but the only difference was that in Wandering's case, it was forever. The article went on to say, "These workers have strict quotas and are supervised by bosses who equip them with computers, software and internet connections to thrash online trolls, gnomes and ogres. As they grind through the games, they accumulate virtual currency that is valuable to game players around the world. The game allows players to trade currency to other players who can then use it to buy better armor, amulets, magic spells and other accoutrements to climb to higher levels or create more powerful characters."
So they're not even doing it for the money. They're basically, well, okay, they are doing it for the money. They're $250, but they probably spent most of the money they got on the game again. So
operations were bigger than you think too. The article estimated that 100,000 Chinese youth were full-time gamers, described as toiling away in dark internet cafes, abandoned warehouses, small offices, and private homes.
Yo, I didn't realize how big World of Warcraft was in China. 100,000 kids was doing this? Or did I read that wrong? By some estimates. Oh my god, it is talking about this. Oh my god. That's child labor, no? It has to be some form. I don't know. It has to be some form, even though they're playing a game.
One person interviewed in the article was a 27-year-old of the name Chen Yu, who claimed to have roughly 20 full-time employees under him. This was something that was very present in the mid-2000s, economies being formed within video games. For example, we have World of Warcraft and Lineage, as we've already discussed, but also the likes of Second Life, RuneScape, and Entropia were all games created in the early 2000s that had their biggest fans willing to spend thousands and sometimes
SEE buys Planet Calypso for $6 million. Talks with. I'm so glad I never got into any of these like communities. Respectfully, I mean, shout out to the people that play these, but like, bro, some of these players are just fucking insane. 6 million,
literally millions on the game. What's important,
and a lot of those games, like, I just don't play RPGs like that. This is me personally. I just don't play them, but I just get bored. Like, why would I ever want that?
Remember is that the China of 2005 was a very different place to the China of the 2020s. Its GDP, for example, was 1/4 the size of what it is today. According to an expert on the economies of synthetic worlds, a man of the name Edward Castronova, he said that these sweatshops were exploiting the wage difference between the US and China for unskilled labor. Though in the years since these online
so was the wage in like $250 there? Might have been more over there. Like maybe it was actually a solid salary. But he said they're exploiting them. So like, I don't know.
Shops were first discovered.
Crazy shit going
this
on in
sort of
China.
activity has become a thing of the past. Blizzard, for one, said that this sort of trading was illegal, and of course, China itself has become a lot more strict on video game use. Today, under 18s in the country are limited to playing only 1 hour of video games a day, and only on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays.
That's fucking bad. Like, that they have to be getting past these restrictions, right? Because every time I was getting on Clash of Clans, bro, some miscellaneous like Mandarin speaking nigga was taking my whole base, bro. And I know they be on the game like 24/7. So they have to be getting past these restrictions. Like, it's probably just a little, you know, the pop-up that happens on every corn site. Like, it's like, oh, just verify here if you're 18, yes or no. They probably just clicking yes.
And public holidays. Therefore, a lot of people that might have found themselves in a World of Warcraft online sweatshop are now free from virtual slavery. Though the characters of this next game were not. In what can only be described as a shocking discovery, last year a sickening app was found on the Google Play Store that led to political unrest within Brazil. The app? A slavery simulator.
What simulator? Oh, it's in full bold, man. You had to put it in the full bold, huh? Akimbo? You gotta put it in the full bold. Oh, man. What they got going on in Brazil?
In May 2023, various news outlets reported on this story. BBC journalist Matt Murphy wrote,
oh my god. It actually is. I was not Simulador de Escravidia. I can't.
Wrote that Google had recently removed a controversial game called Slavery Simulator after it caused outrage in Brazil. This game, created by the Malaysian studio Magnus Games,
66 4 stars. What is going on?
Had been downloaded more than 1,000 times.
What was the gameplay like, I wonder? I kind of want to check it. I'm gonna check it after this.
Removal from the App Store. As the name might suggest, this game depicted.
Oh my god, that's bad.
A simulated reality of being a slave owner who is in the market to buy, sell, and trade slaves, with the player being able to inflict various methods of torture on said slaves. Maria Luisa Poole of the Washington Post was another journalist who wrote an article on the game, giving some more in-depth insight.
Better than Gotcha Life.
True.
Into its history and concept. She wrote that for about a month, Google Play users in Brazil could download a game that simulated what the South American nation looked like in the 1600s, a Portuguese colony and a major hub of the Atlantic slave trade. In fact, the whole premise of the game, titled Simulador de Escravidão, or Slavery Simulator, was to use accumulated make-believe wealth to buy, sell, punish, or sexualize enslaved people.
I don't know what to say, but I'm gonna let it keep playing.
The game's description read, choose one of two goals at the beginning of the slave owner simulator, the path of the tyrant or the path of the liberator. Become a wealthy slave owner or achieve the abolition of slavery. everything is
Man,
in
I'm on
your
the
hands.
abolition side,
The game
man.
was up and active
Come on
between the
now.
20th of April and 24th of May, and as you might expect, there was a huge uproar in Brazil upon it being discovered. Many big names in Brazilian politics, such as Orlando Silva and Renato Souza, would take to Twitter to express their disgust that this sort of game could even have made the App Store, with Silva vowing to seek
Yeah,
the
did they just not check it? I swear, I don't know if they check these apps when they upload them. I remember the other video we looked at, they had the Shake the Baby app on the App Store. That was a long time ago, though. This is recent.
highest level of consequences possible against the developers, Magnus Games, preferably their arrest. Additionally, Silva asked the government to look into the people that had left reviews on the game, as many of the reviews were shocking to say the least. One user wrote that the game lacked torture options and that they should have added a flogging feature. Obviously, once more
Nigga, vlogging? It's slavery times! What do you mean vlogging? What are we talking about here? Come on, bro. Vlogging? He about to pull with the tripod like, alright, let me set this up right here. Alright, y'all, today you see we got the 3 purchases we made here today. This one was for 5 cents, this one was for 4 cents, this one was for 3 cents over, like, come on, man. Logan Paul will go crazy.
more people found out about the contents of this game, it was swiftly removed. But this didn't stop Brazilian politicians from using it to try and prove their points. Interestingly, I found that under Silva and Souza's Twitter posts about the game, a lot of people were saying that they and their party were just using this as a political move to pass a law that would restrict online freedom. People were saying that Google immediately removed it once they became aware of it, and that should be that. We shouldn't need the government to come in and babysit us. Attention was immediately turned to Google as representatives asked, how could this have slipped through the cracks? There are currently talks in Brazil about internet censorship and what should be allowed to be shown. Some people argued that this game was blatantly cruel and spread hate speech. According to the Washington Post article, Magnus Games came out to say that the game was created for entertainment purposes and that they condemn slavery in the real world.
That's like if somebody made a game about like the Holocaust and was like, hey man, we condemn all that shit, you know? We condemn all that shit. It's just for entertainment purposes. Like it's not really that serious. It's not really that serious, but I mean, you know, they wouldn't toe the line, bro. They wouldn't do that.
However, upon doing a little digging, I found that on Magnus Games' own website, they claimed that they had nothing to do with the game whatsoever. It's crucial to clarify that Magnus Games Studio has no connection or affiliation whatsoever with this game or its development. The spread of such baseless claims has resulted in widespread misunderstanding and misrepresentation of our company, which has had a detrimental impact on our professional standing within the industry and among our valued customers. That said, in the
That was definitely written by ChatGPT.
Screenshot of the app, it says Magnus
Bro, if you make a slavery app, you know the point of the app, what you're doing.
Games right there, so it's understandable why people would accuse the company of releasing this. Perhaps this was photoshopped, perhaps it was another studio that called itself Magnus Games in an effort to slander the company, or perhaps this was merely a cover-up. One thing though is for certain, and that is—
Dude, oh my— are y'all seeing these categories? Business, enterprises, slaves, market, research, summary. What? They got a health bar? Are you kidding me? And yeah, where is this? Wait, this picture isn't even like Egypt. This picture isn't even in America. Hold up. This is like in no, this is Egypt or something. This isn't even America.
Is that the slavery simulator was a disturbing part of the digital world's underbelly. But from South to North America, a news story broke a few days ago that was absolutely bewildering. Found in a tent in rural Utah was a Chinese exchange student by the name of Kai Zhuang. His was one of the first mainstream cases ever reported of something called cyber kidnapping. This is perhaps the strangest case of virtual crime that will be discussed today, but this story, reported by the BBC, stated that a 17-year-old was found in the Utah wilderness after he had been cyber kidnapped, and his family paid—
I wanted to let it play to understand it, but nah, bro. What is going on? What is going on?
$80,000 or just
And
over
they held him for ransom?
£60,000 for his release.
I know this one.
What can be presumed to be a drone camera captured his discovery by law enforcement.
God.
And in this kidnapping case, you might notice that there is a noticeable lack of kidnapper. And that's because he wasn't there. He might not have even been in the country because cyber kidnappers don't drive past you in a white van carrying a burlap sack to throw over your head.
So you got
Instead,
kidnapped.
according to the BBC article, they will manipulate victims into faking their own kidnapping in order to extort money from the victim's relatives. This
Oh, okay. Now I
manipulation
understand
comes
it.
in many ways, but with the increase
Efren, are
in
you
AI
really sorry?
ability as of recent, it seems as though the perpetrators are using it to imitate the voices of family members belonging to rich households. There are several
Oh, I've been hearing about that actually. Recently, like they've been using AI voices to call like people's family and stuff like that. Y'all gotta be careful, bro.
different ways how this might happen,
Deepfakers?
but one of the most common is that the assailant will somehow get into contact with the family member and use a device to record their voice. From there, they will then scan it using AI. They would then send a fake ransom call to the family of that person, pressure them, and within no time, be up thousands.
That's actually so scary. That's so scary. How do we get to this point where people could just copy your voice, AI, and it just send it to people and act like you're kidnapped or shot? Oh my
A
god.
Daily Mail article written by
We're in a
Harriet
dystopian
Alexander
society.
stated that young Chinese exchange students are often the victims of this scam, as they'll be physically far away and in different time zones to their parents, who often have a lot of money. It's the perfect storm of circumstances.
He basically just gave the method.
Some kidnappers have gone even further. I don't think I can include these because of YouTube censors, but the Daily Mail article has a few photos of people who have sent self-hostage images, I guess, to their family members. So for example, there's one woman in there who has tied herself up and blindfolded herself and somehow still managed to take a picture. I don't know how. It must be like on a timer or something.
I was about to say, how did she?
Sent that to her family. This is to say that the lengths that these scams have gone to are quite incredible, especially considering that they are built off baseless lies. In the case of Kai Zhuang, he was convinced by the perpetrator to run away from his American host family, and that was that. $80,000 to the kidnappers. With AI's capabilities only growing stronger with each passing day, it appears as though these sorts of cyber kidnappings are only going to become more common in the near future. And the same thing
Yeah, there's no world where I'm getting cyber kidnapped. Appreciate it, but no.
might be said about the next topic within this video. I'm quite certain that the concept of virtual SA is only going to grow in frequency. Case in point, 5 years ago, in what has to be a first of its kind case, a girl's Roblox character was SA'd by a gang of
Roblox?
criminals.
Roblox. This is the point we're at. Roblox. Roblox characters. Look at this nigga. This BBC ass nigga. It's gonna be like the screenshot with 5 of the dudes and a petite white girl in the middle. No longer playing Roblox?
This story dates back to 2018 and contains a mother from North Carolina in the United States who took to Facebook to express her dismay that her daughter's Roblox character had been assaulted by 2 others. My sweet and innocent daughter's avatar was being violently GR'd on a playground by 2 males. A female observer approached them and proceeded to jump on her body at the end of the act. Then the 3 characters ran away.
How does that even happen? What settings do niggas put on Roblox for this to happen? Because we really gotta talk about this. How does that even happen in the game? Nah, man. They better have showed, like, the police some evidence or something.
Leaving my daughter's avatar laying on her face in the middle of the playground. This was when the alarm bells were sounded and the mother confiscated her daughter's iPad until she could get to the bottom of this and took to social media to warn other parents who had children who might have Roblox accounts. At the time, Roblox had more than 50 million monthly users. Today, that number is roughly 4 times larger. Not too long before this news story broke, roughly a month prior, KidSpot published an article
But what type of hack would that be?
describing a similar situation whereby a mother observed her daughter.
Oh, wait, mom. Okay. UK ass tabloid. Mom horrified after daughter stumbles onto explicit Roblox sex room. We know about the Roblox sex rooms and condos and stuff like that.
Daughter stumbling into a sex room after being invited in there by one of her Roblox friends. This friend was of course a stranger in real life. Upon entry into this room that some people called the pink room on account of its vibrant pink walls, one would see—
What do you think at the moment where you're with somebody in like one of these Roblox sex games and y'all start virtually your characters? What do you think in that moment? You gotta have the worst, like, and you know dudes are there definitely getting off to it for sure they're getting off to it, and now they got voice chat, so you know we're hearing moaning from both of them. The post nut clarity must make you want to end your life.
Various Roblox characters engaging in sexual positions, you
All
could walk
downhill
past characters in cages, you would see a plethora of things just generally that someone who is of the target demographic age of Roblox simply should not be exposed to. The mother in this instance very quickly confiscated her daughter's device and changed her security settings so that she would be
okay, she's a good parent, but I imagine how many parents don't. I guarantee, bro, there's some kids doing this and then their parents don't know because they don't check their stuff.
Able to ever return to this lamentable location.
Because sure, I was dating. Well, I was virtually dating in Roblox at like 12. 1, 2, 3. Type in 1, 2, 3 if you want a boyfriend.
Of the original girl that we spoke about continued her Facebook post by saying,
"Although I was immediately able to shield my daughter from seeing the entire interaction, I am shuddering to think what kind of damage this image could have done to her psyche, as well as any other child that could potentially be exposed to this."
The thing is that for a lot of the people that we've spoken about today, most of them got away with it. The kidnappers got away with the cash. Whoever made the slavery game has not yet faced any repercussions. However, mere days ago, a news story caught my eye. It was something so insane that it led me to making this video in the first place. In perhaps a landmark case of its kind, it's been reported on several national news outlets that the police are investigating a virtual SA
Oh my god, we saw this story. I'm sorry, out of all of them, like I can understand the Roblox one because it's actually something on the screen. Nigga, take the headset off. Take the headset off. Even the Roblox one, I'm not gonna lie, just close the game. But that's like a little girl, so like.
A girl's Metaverse avatar.
What the I don't know what that was. How does that even work? Guess we're gonna learn.
The Daily Mail was the first news source to get a hold of this story, and from there, others reported on it for their outlets. Rebecca Cramber, the author of this article, wrote, "Police are investigating the first case of rape in the metaverse after a child was attacked in a virtual reality video game." The girl under the age of 16 is said to have been left distraught after her avatar, her digital character, was GR'd by the online strangers. The headset-wearing victim did not suffer any injuries as there was no physical attack, but officers said that she suffered the same psychological and emotional trauma as someone who has been raped in the real world, as the VR experience is designed to be completely immersive. It's thought to be the first time in the—
Bro, I'm not even gonna say nothing. Power it off, leave the game.
UK that a virtual sex offence has been investigated by the police. But the landmark case has prompted questions about whether police should be pursuing virtual offences, given police and prosecutors are currently struggling with an enormous backlog of actual cases, and if such an attack should be prosecuted under current laws. The article cites Nina Jane Patel as another woman who
under current law, so they're about to, I mean, bruh,
undergone a similar unfortunate incident. Patel is a psychotherapist who actually conducts research on the metaverse, but as she explains in a Twitter post from January 2022, she was once SA'd after logging into the metaverse. She links—
Bruh, how? As soon as you log in? Like you're typing in metaverse, and there's just a nigga there doing something?
Yet another Daily Mail article that makes the following claim, which sounds ridiculous, but this is true. She was SA'd within a minute of entering into Facebook's virtual world.
It just sounds so stupid, bro. It sounds so stupid.
The mother of four stated, "The space you enter is a lobby, like a theatre foyer. Within 60 seconds, 3 male avatars who all had male voices came towards me and touched me inappropriately.
Must have been
Patel
Josh
claims
Giddy.
that she's even witnessed the harassment of another virtual girl on the metaverse in the past, saying that her friends and colleagues had also experienced racism, sexism, and other forms of
Okay, that I can actually believe. I mean, you go anywhere online, and you're gonna have that.
assault in the metaverse. This isn't even a new phenomenon either, as 7 years ago, a woman named Jordan Belmare created a Medium blog post about the situation that garnered thousands of likes. She had been playing a game of Quiver when her avatar was touched without consent by a player called Big Bro 442. Apparently,
you know what's actually funny? Hold up, could I have a case, because I played VR games. Like, I have this one VR game that's kind of like Rainbow Six Siege. I'll play with my friend, and like, bro, the dudes be there, and they'll just like come behind you, bro. Like, they'll walk behind you, start like touching your avatar and shit. So do I have a case now?
Virtually fondled her for minutes on end.
Get out of the game. The thing is, I didn't care, bro, because I just didn't care because I knew it was trolling.
Though virtual reality was not a safe space.
I don't know about that. You better run.
Of course, in the comment section of both the Medium post and the Daily Mail articles, there were a few messages that were supportive of the situation and empathetic. There were some people that asked, why didn't these women just log off?
Facts.
However, with Britain's National Crime Agency now having warned that police will need to be ready to deal with virtual essays in the future, it could be that UK law enforcement will now treat
UK law enforcement, you got different troubles. Your citizens, you got a citizen getting stabbed every 10 seconds on the next street next to the pub, next to the local pub. You got different problems, man.
Virtual crimes with inception rules. That being, if you've been essayed in a game, you've been essayed in real life. And they will therefore have the jurisdiction to lock up the perpetrator and throw away the key if they see so fit. What do you think, though?
I'm just imagining in the future a new crime. A prisoner is like, what'd you get booked in for, man? Like what you get booked in for?
Yeah, VR essay.
Oh my god.
Is this going too far? Is your character being harassed or perhaps even touched unconsensually over VR a criminal offense? And if so, what should the punishment be? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and whilst you're down there, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel.
Hey man, great video from, I swear I thought it was a Kimbo Fox. Fox Kimbo, whatever. Anyways, yeah, very interesting. I don't know if I'm looking forward to the future of these things. But guys, just know if somebody's talking shit on you, man, just turn off your eyes. Close your eyes. Or what you could do is block them. That's another option. You could block them. Yeah, I don't know. That's really about it. If you're watching this on the tube, join the Discord.